City volunteers in Indonesia distribute supplies to residents affected by the pandemic. City has helped build a clinic building for health center in Sichuan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In Indonesia, pandemic situation is still severe as there's more than 20,000 confirmed COVID cases in a single day. North Sumatra has been listed as a hotspot. As a result, many residents are being affected financially. City volunteers in Medan have worked with the police to distribute 4,000 sets of daily supplies. Here's our report. Volunteers work in relays to place the bags of rice into the storage. Since June, pandemic situation has worsened in Indonesia. The government has listed North Sumatra as a hotspot, so Medan volunteers began delivering the pandemic relief.
With the pandemic situation, many people cannot work, and many families' incomes have decreased. Some people even lost their jobs. We hope that with these daily supplies, they don't need to go hungry.
Due to the pandemic, city's aid distribution must be carried out by police officers. This day, volunteers went to the police station to deliver supplies and sign an MOU, hoping that the pandemic relief can be carried out.
The amount of Tzu Chi supplies is large. We plan to distribute them to bus drivers, motorcycle drivers, cemetery workers, and some families who have lost their incomes. These supplies can lessen their financial burdens.
The 4,000 sets of daily supplies include rice, cooking oil, and sugar, will help many families get through the tough times. In Thailand, the pandemic situation is still severe. City Thailand chapter has learned of the residents' plight through social media. City volunteers prepare care packages and distributed them at Kedah Tzu Chi. They have also delivered care packages to people with mobility issues. In addition, residents apply ban and sought help on Tzu Chi. Let's take a look at how city volunteers reach out to the residents. City volunteers have delivered 500 care packages to Pai Ban as residents have sought help.
Many local residents have lost their jobs or reduced their income because of the pandemic. We will assess their situation and distribute supplies to help them.
Pai Ban town office has provided 100 city care packages to Huchan Temple to be used.
Currently, there are about 600 to 700 confirmed COVID patients at the isolation center. We will use food ingredients to cook hot food for the patients.
In the Kedah Tzu Chi, volunteers continue to pack supplies. They have also allowed residents who have applied for supplies over the internet social media to come get the supplies.
There are COVID patients near my house, so people do not dare to go out and it is hard to sell snacks. So I have started selling food and stayed home without incomes. The volunteers told me there are care packages, so I registered and came here.
54-year-old solitary man Song Chai, who has suffered a stroke, was referred to Tzu Chi by his neighbor. Volunteers have brought care packages and as doctors provide online consultation.
I have diabetes and I have been out of medication for almost a year. Tzu Chi doctor has prescribed medication for me and I'm very happy. Without medication, I suffer from poor health.
Volunteers have reached to the residents in need, hoping to help them get through the tough times. In Malaysia, the pandemic situation is still severe. Kedah Tzu Chi volunteers have brought care packages to show their support for the dialysis center nurses. They thank the nurses for caring for the patients during the pandemic period. The nurses had a chance to express their gratitude for their families. Let's join them there. During the pandemic, you're still serving people. We do not know when the pandemic will end. Like what the master said, we should stay vigilant and pious and promote vegetarianism.
With motherly love, volunteers thank the nurses. Kedah Tzu Chi volunteers have arranged surprises for the staff at the dialysis center. Someone is reminded of her mother.
I really miss my mother because she is very far from me. I couldn't see her every day. It's a 4 hours journey from here to my hometown. It's been 2 months I didn't see her. It's just through the phone only. feel very sad, cannot share this moment with her right now. And when I see the slideshow, I really missed her.
Tzu Chi volunteers have delivered care packages, which include supplies and master's letter, so everyone can feel the love and care.
Sebenarnya hari ini adalah satu surprise untuk saya dan family dekat sini.
Today they have given me and my family a surprise. I feel deeply moved and have felt the master's love and care. While we're fighting the pandemic, we can still feel her care. I really appreciate my family for supporting me.
Penghargaan, terima kasih untuk family saya sebab selama ni dia selalu bagi sokongan, bagi nasihat dekat saya lah.
The staff who guard their post also write down their gratitude on the cards to thank their families.
感谢家人，就是让我当上护士，所以在这段期间，
I appreciate my family for allowing me to work as a nurse. During this period, I feel the mission and responsibility to serve the country and the public and fight the pandemic. I think this is very honorable. The pandemic has not ended yet. We should take good care of ourselves and look forward to the day of our reunion. During the pandemic, radiologists are very busy. Radiologists at DaAi City Hospital move mobile X-ray machines to emergency departments, dedicated COVID wards, and intensive care wards to take images. This way, they give doctors a good look at the patient's conditions. Before performing the task, the radiologists must wear a protective suit and must clean the machine themselves at least 3 times a day. Here's our report.
This radiologist pushes the mobile X-ray machine and went straight to the dedicated COVID ward 12B. Before taking the image of the confirmed COVID patient, he had to protect himself. From head to toe, they have to wrap up tightly in this protective suit, which takes at least 10 minutes.
It makes me very inflexible in my movements, and wearing the mask means that I can't breathe smoothly.
The X-ray receiver must also be put in a plastic bag to take X-rays for the patient. Close physical contact is inevitable. Therefore, whether it is the machine or the radiologists themselves, they must be disinfected when they leave the ward. Every time he goes up to the special COVID ward and back to the office, he takes a shower first.
Sometimes I bath 3 times a day. That is, I go up there 3 times. When I go home, I have to wash it again.
The procedure takes at least an hour and a half, but radiologists are not afraid of this inconvenience and continue to take lung images for patients, allowing doctors to make more precise treatment.
As the Level 3 alert forced many schools to post physical classrooms, in New Taipei City's JJVS, hundreds of students remain in their dormitory as it is a strict rule enforced by the school. City Foundation's pandemic relief plan made its way to the campus, providing vegetarian lunchboxes for the students. Volunteers also arrived with fruits, milk, and other daily supplies, hoping to look after the students. Let's join them there.
在线上上课的时候，你还是一样要服装仪容整齐，然后你打开镜头，让老师可以看到。
Student Duan comes from Myanmar as he studies in JJVS. Originally, he took on an internship at a fast food store, keeping his expenses in check. But after the Level 3 alert, he had to stay at the dorm, unable to work. If we want to buy groceries, we have to tell our teacher. If we ask our teacher in the morning, our teachers will buy groceries for us around 4 p.m. after they get out of work. They'll go to the supermarkets to purchase foods and fruits. Even on holidays or rainy days, our teachers would still make the trip.
他们在我们台湾的话，我们在学校里面基本上的就是在他们的整个生活上面的管理。
On our campus, we manage their living needs. From a management perspective, we provide services like a family. Since every student has to stay at their dorm, we have to arrange our online classes and activities. Our teachers also have to make regular phone calls to bring care to students.
After getting used to online classes, student Duan still shows signs of worries, even with his mask on. Fortunately, vendors provided schools with free lunches, solving the issues of many. On this day, student Duan and other foreign students received a special gift. Tzu Chi Foundation's pandemic relief plan initiated as volunteers brought vegetarian lunchboxes and multiple living supplies, solving the issues and worries that many students have going into the summer break.
Due to the pandemic this time, Tzu Chi Foundation hopes to help these foreign students. Over 30 volunteers helped out and brought love to JJVS. We hope to supply lunchboxes, fruits, and other living supplies in order for the students to focus on their studies.
I'm thankful to Tzu Chi for their vegetarian lunchboxes during the pandemic. I felt the love and care from Taiwan to us foreign students. The person who connected Tzu Chi with JJVS is Deng Tingting, as she is a Tzu Chi volunteer in training. Through a chat with a volunteer, she shared the situations of students in JJVS.
Though classes have stopped, school still continues. For many students in the work-study program, their factories and restaurants are out of business. Therefore, they no longer have the ability to earn, which causes financial difficulties. But there are vendors who contributed love, providing lunch boxes for our students. After hearing their needs, Tzu Chi sisters also wanted to help out the students in the work-study program.
JJVS is a neighbor of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital, as Ting's aphorisms can be seen everywhere on the campus. As of now, students eagerly cooperate in the efforts to prevent COVID-19. Tzu Chi's arrival to bring supplies of love have deeply warmed work-study students' hearts.
In 2008, in the aftermath of Sichuan earthquake, Tzu Chi formed a relationship with Shifang City. Under the new policies to battle poverty, the government has improved local infrastructure. Tzu Chi Foundation has also joined the action. Besides building school buildings, Tzu Chi has helped build a clinic building. Let's take a look.
In the mountains, Mianshan County hosts over 13,000 people, as there is only a small health center to safeguard locals.
Before 2020, we have limited wards in our health center. Every department is squeezed into a small building, as it becomes inconvenient for patients seeking treatment.
In order to help improve local health infrastructure, in 2019, Tzu Chi Foundation and the county government signed a building plan. The building began its construction during the pandemic last year and was completed during February this year.
Acupuncture is very effective. Before we had to carry her, it was exhausting. Now we can carry her, she even knows how to walk. This makes us feel more at ease.
As the hospital's hardware improves, citizens may come here for quality medical treatment. With the ability to host patients, people no longer have to travel long distances to come here. In the past, though we may get treated well, the appearance of the hospital scares me. I don't want to come here. But after the improvement, we don't have to go to hospitals outside of our county anymore.
After the environment improves, citizens with light symptoms may come here. They no longer have to go to hospitals outside of the county. The building assistance really gave a boost to our hospital's infrastructure.
With the inauguration of the clinic building, more locals in town may receive better medical treatment, as they no longer have to worry about traveling long distances.
In China, Liangshan Prefecture in Sichuan is the residence of the Yi ethnic minority. In recent years, because of municipal planning, the local government hopes that villagers in the mountains will move to the countryside. As a result, some schools cannot accommodate a large number of students due to limited space. Therefore, the local government approached the Tzu Chi Foundation to cooperate in the construction of school buildings. Recently, the project restarted, and Chengdu volunteers want to show special care.
我觉得它本来建得很小的时候，我觉得要修个1年3年，可是我没想到的是，只过了几个月就已经修得很高很大了。
At the end of the long winding country road is a Xintian Elementary School in Lizi Township. The children's reading echo loudly in the mountains, but to accommodate more than 1,000 children, the learning space here is very limited.
At the beginning, the school had only 3 classrooms, that is 3 grades. Later, through the joint efforts of teachers and students and everyone's care and help, the students gradually doubled.
In line with the government poverty alleviation policy, the remote villagers have moved to the surrounding areas of the county, resulting in an efficient land for the Xintian Elementary School. Therefore, Tzu Chi Foundation had planned on the construction 2 years ago. Recently, Chengdu volunteers went to care about the construction progress.
There's a charity organization like yours to assist us in Liangshan, a relatively remote place. And then we also have the opportunity to help our hometown quickly build. We're also very happy.
Despite the rush to build the campus, the volunteers still feel inefficient and wanted to do more, especially since after rainy season, the safety of drinking water in rural schools is very worrying.
Mountain spring water has the immediate problem that is water quality cannot be guaranteed. When we turn on the faucet, the water source contained very clear sediments, such as silt, and its sediment was a very serious problem.
Volunteers took advantage of this trip to visit 14 local elementary and secondary schools. The first batch of the water purification equipment is expected to be donated to 6 schools among them.
First of all, we will provide children with a very healthy source of water. Then secondly, we can change the children's water use habits so that they can drink a very healthy, warm water, which can accompany the children to grow up healthily.
Tzu Chi and Xide County Health Unit have signed a healthy drinking water plan, hoping that the local volunteers will accompany the children to grow up healthily.
In recent years, experimental education has continued to emerge in Taiwan, with more and more teachers devoting themselves to this field. They use love and tolerance and become friends with students. They allow students to learn happily in an open learning environment. Today, we visit these outstanding teachers.
好，这是属于我们的歌声，我们一起唱。
The principal led us to find these special memories of the past.
We find a melody and string it together into a graduation song of our own, which can make our relationship better.
The lyrics are composed by soon-to-be graduates, and they must be played and sung by themselves.
Graduating students are familiar with the melody of the instrument, and then we will create a graduation song together.
黑夜星空，那闪烁的光芒，像一年级的我们闪烁的眼光。
Without commanding the authority of a teacher, Principal Peng is full of positive energy in front of the students. It's hard to imagine that 9 years ago, when he was working in regular education, he was physically and mentally ill due to excessive pressure.
I had ear stroke, vestibular neuritis, and can hear very low sounds in 1 ear. It turned into depression. At that time, I wanted to divert my attention, so I turned to music. I have 12 licenses to be a street performer. Since I use music to support myself through a difficult time, I hope to use music to help more people. So I mustered up the courage to perform on the street.
Music is integrated into the campus, and students' musical intelligence has become a successful model of experimental education.
Inspiring their musical intelligence is actually very helpful to the development of their brains when they are young.
While some people fall in love with classical music, some are attracted to a Ba-ing musical group.
I thought I learned some violin at the beginning, but I became more interested in this Hakka instrument.
A diversified learning experience on campus is what makes this experimental elementary school so special.
Around 2001, there were about 20 students in this school as it faced the fate of being closed. The biggest difference between before and now is the transformation of the curriculum, which has been relaxed.
We have seen some individual students develop very well under the experimental education system.
一杰，我问你哦，这是什么啊？那黄黄的是什么？脐带。哦，脐带。
I am Yijie. We all call teachers by their names because we treat you as a person. Some worry that if you take away the authority of the teacher, this will be a problem, as they won't know how to respect a teacher. But I think it's up to them, as the students should treat others with equal respect.
每个人就可以自己做一点属于你的内容，那个就是属于你的，所以你也不会说就跟大家的混在一起，你还是可以有你自己的那个空间跟自己。
Under the current education system, these types of behaviors that will be corrected by the teacher. Teacher Yijie laughs at this as she says she never forces her children to learn.
There is no limit on us to teach directly from textbooks. The teachers can simply observe and see what the children want to learn.
Experimental education is different, not only the teachers but also the parents.
I learn every day. Parents take turns to help them cook lunch. I put down what I do at work today when it's my turn.
Parents take a day off from work and volunteer in the kitchen, and the children come to help. This mother is a yoga teacher, though she is making the meals at the moment, which looks good. Meanwhile, the father is a professor at National Taiwan University, put down his work and became his wife's cooking assistant.
It is totally sweet work and super fun interacting with children, and then there is a good connection with the school.
Different schools have different kitchens. Xinxian has no full-time kitchen workers. The chef and the assistant are all parents.
When parents come to school to interact with each other, we are like brothers and sisters. So when the children need to work together, in fact, the sense of trust or familiarity is relatively close.
Parents and teachers interact closely to allow learning to extend from the classroom to the children's life. This turns out that the warm connection between people, which is the reward for this type of education.
In the Philippines, TIMA members have worked with the government to provide COVID vaccination shots to the residents. This time, they provided a second vaccination doses to residents at a stadium. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.